There's no such thing as the sin of empathy. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and I wanted to briefly comment on this tweet from some person named Ben Garrett. They say, "Do not commit the sin of empathy. This snake is God's enemy and yours too. She hates God and his people. You need to properly hate in response. She is not merely deceived, but is a deceiver. Your eye shall not pity." Now, this is abominable and stupid for numerous reasons. To begin, the Bible never mentions any such thing as the sin of empathy. This is something that people make up when they do not want to see groups of people that they hate being shown empathy or just treatment. This is what drives Jonah to say it would be better off if he were dead after God forgives the Ninevites in the book of Jonah. And the whole message of that book is God will forgive whomever they want to forgive, and humans don't really have a right to be upset with them. So we've got conflicting messages in the Bible if you find authorization to hate anywhere in the Bible. And with those conflicting messages, you've got to figure out how you're going to arbitrate between them, which always means picking whatever serves your interests. And by interests, overwhelmingly, and particularly when we're dealing with white men on the internet, those interests means their access to power and resources. And it's always a zero-sum game for petty and naive white men on the internet. So it always means arguing over and against the access to power and resources on the part of people whom they hate. And that's clearly what's going on here. After all, this second paragraph says you need to properly hate in response, which is not a Christian message in any way, shape, or form. But the part that I want to specifically address is the very end, where Ben here says, "Your eye shall not pity." And that is something that we find stated 3 different times in the Hebrew Bible, all 3 times in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 19:13, Deuteronomy 19:21, and Deuteronomy 25:12. The 2 passages in Deuteronomy 19 are when people are commanded to execute a criminal, and it tells them, "Your eye shall not pity." Deuteronomy 25:12 is commanding someone to cut off the hands of a woman who has intervened in a fight between 2 men and has grabbed hold of the genitals of one of the men. The penalty is to have her hands cut off, and the person who is responsible for that is told by the authority in Deuteronomy 25, "Your eye shall not pity." So while Ben here thinks that he has the authority to dictate who you're supposed to hate and who you are not allowed to empathize or show any mercy to, what Ben is dredging up is these laws that, as far as we know, have never been enforced, that require someone about to execute another person to not show pity. The Bible, in no way, shape, or form whatsoever, supports the notion that someone who calls for mercy for trans children and undocumented immigrants needs to be hated, and you're not allowed to show empathy because that would be sinful. That's absolutely laughable. Ben does not have the first clue what he's talking about. He's very clearly just trying to leverage the Bible as a tool for his own petty and naive attempts to structure power and boundaries and values to serve his own knuckle-dragging right-wing authoritarian and social dominance orientation identity politics. Ben needs to get so much better educated, not just about the Bible, but about the world around him and his place in it. And the fit for this video has been Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man.